How's it going, everyone? This is the Anime Man. So, Yanderes. If you've been in the anime community for quite a while now, then you're most likely aware of these very specific character archetypes. For the 1% of you otakus who perhaps don't know what a yandere is a person, usually female, romantically obsessed with someone to the point of using violent means to get them in their arms, often seen with a sharp weapon and a psychotic grin. Thank you, Urban Dictionary Sensei, always here when we need you the most. The Japanese word originates from the combination of the words yanderu, meaning sickly, and dere meaning love-struck. You put those two together and it essentially equates to a girl, or a guy sometimes, who is so love-struck that they're almost considered sick. In other words, in English, it is what we would often refer to as a crazy bitch. I mean, the general consensus of yanderes, at least in the anime community, is that they are female. You got your Yunogasais, you got your Fuyo Kaedes, but sometimes not all yanderes are actually female. In fact, in my opinion, some of the best written and most well-established yanderes are in fact male, but I mean, that's just me. But regardless of who you personally think is the best or worst waifu, boy or girl in all of anime, it's always been a general understanding that these yandere character archetypes have always just been seen as this fictitious caricature that has been birthed from the fucked up mind of an author or some kind of individual. I mean, let's be real, there's no way that someone that fucked up and mentally unstable actually exists in real life, right? Right? Well, unfortunately, it seems that Japan just had to debate us once again by really proving us wrong on that fact. Woman accused of stabbing male acquaintance. I loved him so much. For fuck's sake, Japan. At around 3:50 PM on May 23rd, Yuka Takaoka allegedly used a kitchen knife to stab the man, aged in his 20s or 30s, in the abdomen inside the 5th floor residence. The man was transported to a hospital where he remains in serious condition, according to the Shinjuku police station. Officers later accused Takaoka of attempted murder. During questioning, police learned that the stabbing was likely the result of a problem within the relationship of the suspect and the victim. "Since I loved him so much, I just couldn't help it," Takaoka was quoted. "After killing him, I too wanted to die." And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a real-life yandere. Can we get a round of applause for Japan just being fucked up as usual? The stigmas will truly never disappear. As well, Takaoka and the victim were in the lobby of the residence upon the arrival of police on May 23. Images that have emerged, warning both are graphic, show a person believed to be Takaoka, her legs covered in blood, talking on the telephone as she smokes a cigarette with the victim's body collapsed behind her. Now, obviously, I am not going to show said photos in this particular video because, let's be real, YouTube Summer will definitely not be happy about me doing that, and I just generally don't want to scar your precious little lives. But suffice it to say that these photos weirdly aren't the most disturbing thing about this whole story. Sometime after the news broke on Japanese TV, a bunch of people on the internet discovered the culprit's Instagram account, where she had uploaded a total of 22 photos of her at her workplace, some of them just really standard natural photos, as well as a number of photos of her cosplaying in different outfits and anime characters. Now, you attentive otakus might be like, who are the anime characters that she was cosplaying? Oh, you know, just your standard, harmless, innocent, and totally not fucked up in the head characters like Himiko Toga from My Hero Academia and 02 from Darling in the Franxx. You know, totally normal characters that have absolutely nothing to do with yandere tendencies or being overly love-struck by their interests or anything like that. You know, just totally standard, normal anime characters that clearly have a stable mindset. Nothing to see here, folks. Everything is fine. But oh, ladies and gentlemen, it does definitely not stop there. 2 days after the incident, there was a Twitter post on Japanese Twitter that kind of went viral from a particular gentleman named Mamo. Now, Mamo, for those of you who don't know, including myself because I had to look this up, he is the lead singer of a quite infamous visual kei band, R-shite, which is a band that is clearly very popular with the ladies considering the whole visual kei nature. And on said Twitter post, he showed off a particular package that he had received from a fan that day that he thought was a little bit suspicious. And let's just say it's probably even more disturbing than the cosplay photos you just saw. It was a single notebook with the words "I love you" scrawled all across its surface, with one line reading, "I love you so much I could kill you." When opening the book, there was a number of pages filled to the brim with the words "I love you" scrawled across its pages, with the last couple of pages being filled with "I love you" written in blood. No, this is not a movie stunt. This is not some kind of joke. This, ladies and gentlemen, is real fucking life. Now, currently, as of the recording of this video, it has not been confirmed whether the person who sent that note is actually the killer in question in today's video, or if it's someone who was inspired from said crime and decided to do these ridiculously heinous acts. But in all honesty, whoever it was, I don't care if it was the culprit or someone who was inspired by the culprit, it really doesn't fucking matter. Because here is the biggest gripe I have towards this entire story, and is really the entire reason why I'm making this video at all. It's the fact that there are a significant number of people on Japanese Twitter and English-speaking Twitter, as well as on Instagram and on YouTube, who are actually praising and admiring this girl for her heinous acts. If you go to any of her Instagram posts, you go to any YouTube video discussing and covering the topic of the news, or even any news articles that allow people to leave, user comments on it, you can find a shockingly large amount of comments saying how this girl is so adorable and how this girl is such a waifu, how I want this girl to stab me in my sleep too, I want this girl to stab me during her cosplay too, oh my god, that's so hot, that's so awesome, it's like a real life Yandere. And look, to be honest, I don't know if I'm gonna be the first person to come onto camera to say this, but there is something that I would like to say to all of the people who have left comments like that on, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or is anyone who hasn't left a comment but is kind of egging on this mentality of admiration. What the fuck is wrong with you? They say that it's not good to kink shame on the internet because, humans be how humans be. Some people are into really weird and, subjectively fucked up stuff that other people aren't into, but hey, you can't commit a thought crime as well as you can't punish a thought crime. People are just into weird shit, and that's that. Let's move on. But when it comes to this particular instance, I have to tell y'all motherfuckers to just stop. I don't know what the fuck you might be thinking when you leave comments like this and this, but may I softly remind you that this girl almost killed an innocent man. I don't give two fucks if you think Gasai or Toga is your S-tier waifu or anything. This is real life we're talking about. This is real people's lives in danger. And this woman you are supposedly admiring or thinking is attractive is a legitimate psychopath. You don't believe me? Look at this picture of her being detained in the back of the police car after she got arrested. Can you honestly tell me that a normal person after being detained for murder would possibly be smiling like this in the back of a police car? You are literally admiring a psychopathic killer. Do you realize how that is not okay? And you know what pisses me off the most about all of this entire thing in general, is that I guarantee that when traditional media and organizations, these big organizations who see this story and get a hands of it, look at it and think, what might have been the cause for all of this, they'll most likely point to one thing and only one thing: anime. It's constantly been the target for so many different weird crimes all over the world, and it's always been the easiest solution to any kind of strange problem. Oh, there was a weird murder that happened? Yeah, blame anime. Oh, there was a weird robbery that happened? Blame anime. Oh, there was a crime that happened that has nothing to do with anime, and just because the person was wearing an anime t-shirt, yeah, blame anime. Clearly, it's all anime's fault. I mean, look at these cosplays. Clearly the reason why this insane crazy bitch committed a murder or tried to commit a murder is because she liked cosplaying and dressing up as these girls who are okay with committing a murder if they have to. So clearly the reason for this entire crime is because of this, right? Like, it couldn't possibly be some kind of mental issue or anything that we could possibly try to solve. Any person with a brain would be like, no, of course not. They're not gonna blame anime for this shit. What are you kidding me? But I guarantee that that's what's gonna happen. And let's just say that all these fucking retards with anime profile pictures leaving comments like this and saying, oh my god, she's so cute, I want her to stab me in a toga cosplay, is really not driving home that fact any quicker. Seriously, this this is why I sometimes really fucking hate this anime community. I don't think some of these kids realize the actual severity of this entire thing. Maybe because it happens in a distant land of ramen land that they've never been to, or, you know, never thought about actually existing in real life or whatever. But let's just say that if this crime happened to, say, you, or someone you were very close with, say, someone you knew, a friend of yours that you had, then I guarantee you wouldn't be going onto the internet and saying how adorable this girl is for being such a yandere, and how you want her to stab you in a toga cosplay because that's what gets you off at night. Like, the double standards in this entire case is fucking ridiculous. What, just because she's attractive or good looking, it's suddenly okay to do something like this? Because I guarantee that if, say, a white dude were to have done this, or even an old Japanese woman were to have done this, then you definitely wouldn't be jacking off to your yandere fetishes now, would you? Now look, I'm obviously blasting the fuck out of this culprit for doing such a heinous crime, because it is heinous, it's unforgivable, but more than anything, I'm blasting these fucking kids and these just brainless people on the internet who think that this whole caricature, this whole real-life yandere situation is okay or even admirable and attractive. Just because you think that Yunogasai killing dudes in Mirai Nikki is attractive, that doesn't mean it's okay in reality, guys. These are the lives of real people we are dealing with here, not just some scribbles on some paper. And it's fuckers like you who continue to put a bad name on the anime community, and is a reason why it's still just as hard as ever for us to be accepted as a community in the mainstream. A few bad apples can kill an orchard, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to be able to, as a community, to distinguish what is real and what is fiction. Because if we've truly gotten to the point where people in the community can't tell the difference or can't distinguish between reality and fiction, then yeah, maybe, you know what, anime was a mistake and it deserves to fucking die. But you know what, I'm just gonna leave this here. I'm not gonna talk about this anymore, it's because it's just getting on my fucking nerves the more I talk about it, so let's just leave it at that. I hope that this girl gets locked up in jail for however long she deserves to be locked up for, and I hope that the circumstances for this heinous crime really sends a message to all the dumb cunts out there who think that this whole act of being a yandere and almost committing a murder is okay or even considered attractive in the real world. Things like this are not okay, and they're okay with staying in the pages of a book. They're okay with staying in our minds, but don't bring that shit out to reality. The one silver lining, though, I can say from all of this is that thankfully, the large majority of people in the anime community and people outside of the anime community are saying how this is just a terrible and fucked up crime and that the girl deserves to be in jail. And there are actually a lot of people who are blasting said dumb shits who think that this girl is attractive, or who think that her heinous acts were attractive, or how I want to be stabbed in her toga cosplay is considered okay. There are luckily a large group of people who are calling them out publicly on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and stuff like that, and putting them in their fucking place and giving them a brain to actually use. So at least we can say that there's at least a tiny bit of hope left in this humanity. But regardless, guys, let me know what you think about this whole thing in the comments below. Do you think that she does deserve to go to jail? Do you think that her acts are considered okay or even attractive? And do you think that this whole situation really is anime's fault? Do you honestly think this time, finally, it really was anime that kind of cracked her and pushed her across the surface? I'd love to know all your thoughts and opinions about all that kind of stuff, so make sure to let me know in the comments below. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. As always, like your favorite if you enjoy, subscribe for more anime banner, keep watching anime. Johnny!